Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Brad Keller. I'm a documentation product consultant here at Component One, and I'll be guiding everybody through the NetHelp summer school session today, branding your web-based outputs. I have a question from the gallery actually that's important to the training today. It was asking, do you need to have NetHelp installed? Is it required to be installed on the PC to do this webinar, or can you just do the webinar without a copy installed? You can certainly view the webcast, and you can certainly try to gain what you can from the webcast, but this is a workshop, so this is designed for you to have NetHelp installed. If you go to nethelp.com/download to install the latest version, then that's what you need to have installed in order to run through the different exercises that are in this workshop, because we'll go along for a little while talking about different attributes or different things that exist in NetHelp, different aspects of the theme editor, which is what you use to create and brand the themes for your web-based outputs, and different aspects of the theme designer or the theme editor that we discuss here, and that we do a hands-on workshop for, that you really kind of need the software installed in order to go through the motions or go through the exercises of what we have outlined in the course pack. So everybody could, if everybody could also make sure that you download the course pack for this session. This is the PDF. There are 3 things in the course pack. So it's a zip file, and once you unzip it, it should have my NetHelp Summer School web-based outputs. So that's the PDF that we see here in the background. It's got Sydney the owl, which is the NetHelp mascot, and that's a graphic that you'll need to use in order to add a logo. Basically, it's just something that you can use to add a logo to the header, which is something that we're going to be covering a little bit later. And then this is also just a zip file. This is a jQuery UI custom theme that I created using the theme roller in jQuery, and that's what you actually use. We'll talk about that here in a little bit, but you actually use the theme roller to create custom themes and custom style sheets for your NetHelp themes, and that would be what would control the color schemes, switching up the color schemes to properly brand your web-based outputs. Okay, so just taking a look through past the cover page here and to the table of contents, we'll just get right started with branding your web-based outputs. So the objectives here: to learn how the theme designer can change the look of your targets, to discover the themes included in NetHelp for various outputs, to learn how to select the theme for a target, to learn how to add and modify themes, to learn where themes are stored, learn how to customize theme buttons, how to change the header, and also how to change icons and interface elements. Basically, those 3 there in the middle are all about working in the theme designer itself. And the theme designer it's a visual theme designer. It's basically a what you see is what you get editor. So you can click on any element that you want to change in the preview or design mode, and then change the appropriate icon on the right-hand side or the appropriate property on the right-hand side in order to make changes to the theme itself. So NetHelp is our web-based output, and that's completely flexible and customizable. Anything that you see in the NetHelp theme, you can change. So that was kind of the tagline for this session, is the fact that anything that you see, you can change. So we'll talk about where the themes are stored, how to customize, change the buttons, how to change the header, how to change the icons, and then finally customizing the color scheme with the jQuery theme roller. Okay, so the theme designer is used to modify the skin that surrounds your online help content. The skin includes the items in the help window that surround the content, the breadcrumbs, tabs, buttons, etc. We actually organized all of our NetHelp resources in this blog post here. So if you actually just click on this link, maybe just control-click and open a separate window, we actually kind of pulled together all of this information and all of these different resources. This is kind of like some videos, blog posts, and some sections from the documentation. And a lot of the material that we'll be covering today is based off of all the different resources and everything that we created for this post. So this post basically just kind of points you to videos and blog posts and sections in the documentation, things that really kind of zero in on all of the different ways that you can customize NetHelp. As I said, it's completely customizable, all the different ways that you can customize NetHelp, and you know how to do it. Okay, so here we've got a screenshot, the NetHelp 2012 user guide. And then this is an example of a customized theme in NetHelp. Okay, so if I actually just look at this in a browser, so again, this is our web-based output. So this is NetHelp, our web-based output. As you can see here, that's an HTTP URL, so this is something that we hosted on our web server, on our public website. This is on our knowledge base, helpcentral.component1.com. So when Nikki customized this, she actually changed the font type in the content, index, and search tabs so that they're in italics and bold. And there's Sydney the Owl again. There's our mascot. She actually added the mascot for a logo. And then change the height of the header, which is something that we'll be doing in the one of the exercises today. And then she also added this custom button here to open up a PDF version of the user guide. Okay, so certainly you can add a button, and there's actually one of the posts in the NetHelp resources. One of the posts there is how to add that PDF button. Either that or that's one of the posts that Nikki wrote here recently. There we go. Here's how to create a NetHelp theme with a button that opens a PDF. Just going to keep that link there as a resource. And then I'll just chat that to everybody as well. So she's done a lot of different customizations here. She's added the button to link to the PDF. She's included a logo and changed some of the fonts around. But she's also just used the basic color scheme that's in any standard Doc2Help theme. The default style sheet, the default color scheme that surrounds any default NetHelp output is this Aristo theme, which is a theme that a style sheet that we came up with on our own. So we'll show you how to change that as well, and how to look through different options, the different style sheet options that already exist in Doc2Help. And if none of the 16 sort of preloaded style sheets that we have in there work for you, you can certainly, as we'll cover today, you can change that to create your own color scheme. Okay, so the colors of the skin, the light blue and the dark blue, the panes, contents, index, search available, the buttons at the top, and even the breadcrumbs are controlled by the theme assigned to the target. So Doc2Help includes several themes for all targets, and themes included with Doc2Help are listed in this table, starting at the bottom of page 2, and that table runs through into page 4. So if you printed this up or if you've got it open as a PDF, it might be something where you just dog ear one of the pages or use a sticky note to mark this. This table is just a good kind of reference for all the different types of themes that are available, what they look like, what the different interface elements are, and what to expect from each of them in each of the targets, because it does cover Java Help, NetHelp Classic. We'll just be talking about NetHelp 2.0, HTML Help, Microsoft Help Viewer, Mobile Help, Eclipse Help. So it covers a lot of different types of themes, and today we'll be focusing just on NetHelp 2.0, NetHelp, which is our web-based output. So again, that's just another kind of a good reference page to flag and to take a look at for later consideration. Okay, so choosing a theme is towards the top of page 4. To choose a theme, you would select the appropriate target and click the Theme drop-down button on the Home tab. If you'd like to see what each theme looks like, you can choose the Edit Themes option. The Theme Preview dialog box will open. You can use the Theme drop-down to look at different themes, or click the Add New Theme to create a theme based on the one that you're looking at. Okay, so if we go into Doc to Help, we open up one of our projects. Say if we select HTML Help. Instead of NetHelp, one of the things that we can do is we can go to Edit Themes. Just kind of take a look at all the different options that we have as far as CHM files are concerned. There aren't a lot of different options for CHM files. And by default, there's actually only, if I choose NetHelp as my target instead of HTML Help. And this is what we'll be working in the rest of the time. By default, I only have tabs and accordion as the two different types of themes that I can work with. Okay, so tabs is pretty simple. Sort of the classic tri-pane look and feel that everybody's used to. Accordion isn't a whole lot more complicated. It's just a difference in the interface and as far as index and search, how those are displayed. Okay, and as I had mentioned before, so we've got Wijmo or Risto. So this is the color scheme that we're used to seeing. So you can see here the headers, kind of a dark blue, got some tans, some light browns. Everything's kind of simple and straightforward. So you can see here the header's like light or dark blue. She might have changed the header color a little bit. But where the topic text appears, it's got a white background to it. Tabs are white when they're active, blue when you hover over them, and then that tan color when they're not in use. Okay, so that's a pretty simple color scheme. And you can choose from this drop-down, sort of in a preview mode, a number of different sort of preloaded themes. These are just different color schemes that you can use. I like Cupertino, I like Redmond also. Just think that they're nice, simple color schemes. A lot of people like Sunny. And then Rocket is the Wijmo theme, the other theme that we created on our own. Okay, but as you can see here, I've got tabs selected, and tabs is one of the default themes that comes with NetHelp. So as you can see here, it says this is a predefined theme. It cannot be modified. So in order to start doing the things that are in the rest of this workbook and start going through the rest of the exercises, one of the first things that we're going to need to do is we're going to need to create a new theme. And then I had a couple of questions. The first question was, what font are you using? I believe it's an Arial font that's 10-point. It might be Verdana. I know that our development staff, whenever they pick a font, they usually pick either Arial or Verdana, and I think Arial and Verdana are pretty close. So it's probably Verdana. It's probably 8-point. Just knowing them, that's probably the default, and that's actually something that's pretty easy to change if you go into the additional theme customizations topic, and that's actually, I'll talk about that at the end. So there's some additional customizations that you can do above and beyond this. And then we had two questions on the theme designer. The first was, how did we get into that theme view? So one of the things that you can do is, if you have your NetHelp target selected, you can just click the theme button, and then the theme designer will automatically open. Or you can go drop down and select Edit Themes. Okay, and then I have another question of, when I pick these themes, it only impacts that NetHelp target, nothing else, correct? That is correct. So these are themes that you're creating. Basically, when we create a new theme, we're going to create a new theme based off of either tabs or accordion. Those are sort of our base themes. Any changes that we make, they're only going to affect whatever new theme that we create. When I create this theme, I think it's in the lesson as being created as cool new theme. And when I create cool new theme, any changes that I make only affect that new theme. So I could just completely ignore that theme if I don't like it, if I don't think it's worthwhile, and I could just go back to using tabs or accordion for the rest of my targets for the rest of my days and not even worry about cool new theme. Or at some point I might want to revisit cool new theme and try and edit it and bring it to something where I think it's acceptable, or it's at least equivalent to tabs and accordion. But it's just going to affect that particular theme. Okay, and then this question of, what is the difference between theme and style sheet? That's actually a really good question. The wording actually just gets a little bit confusing, because basically what you're doing is you're creating, when you click on this Add CSS button, and that's actually something that we're going to do almost at the end, but when you click on that button, basically what you're doing is you're accessing the jQuery theme roller. All of NetHelp is based off of jQuery, which is a JavaScript technology. It's a set of JavaScript libraries. So NetHelp is based off of jQuery, and jQuery has a theme roller, which is what affects all of the color, the whole color scheme that you see for all of these different style sheets. But we already have a theme designer, so we didn't want to call this creating a new theme inside a theme designer, because this is already creating a new theme. So a style sheet is basically just something that's created in the jQuery theme roller that affects just the color scheme of all these different interface elements, like what color the header is, what color all the toolbars are, what color the background is for all of your content areas. So that's what a style sheet is. In this instance, a style sheet is what controls the color scheme, and the theme is all the interface elements that are getting colored in, basically. Okay, so when you create a theme, you can assign a style sheet to it, but you can't create a style sheet and assign a theme to it. So a theme is on a higher level than a style sheet. So that's where we're going to start, is creating a theme and then assigning a style sheet to that after that. Assigning a new style sheet to it. Anyway, you can assign existing style sheets to it right away. Okay, so to create a theme, to create your own custom theme, you must first create a new theme based on one of the themes included with DocHelp. You can then make modifications to that new theme. So that's, like I said, we're going to create a new theme based off of an existing theme that we already have. So tabs or accordion. Okay, all themes are stored in My DocHelp projects, DocHelp themes. Okay, so if I go into My DocHelp projects, in DocHelp themes, that's where all my NetHelp 2.0 themes are. If I look in there just a little bit, one step further, and then there's tabs and accordion, and then some other themes that I threw in there at one point or another. And then in order to change the location of any of these themes, I could go to File, DocHelp Options, click on Files. That's where my themes are stored by, or stored by default. And really, you'd only want to change this if basically everybody on your team was working in the same network drive. Like you had a network drive that was dedicated to DocHelp, so that you wanted to have everything in one place. You wanted to have all your themes and all your projects, everybody's themes and everybody's projects all in the same place. So that's the only time you'd really want to change this. So for right now, that's just by default. And that would just be in File, DocHelp Options, Files. Okay, now to add a new theme, new themes are always based on existing built-in themes. On the Home tab, you would click the drop-down arrow next to the Theme button and choose Add New Theme. The Add New Theme dialog box will open. So you would name the new theme and choose the source theme, which would basically be one of the default themes. So if I go back into DocHelp and I go to Theme, so I'm in the Home tab, NetHelp is selected as my target. I would just click the Add New Theme button. And as the source theme, I can either do tabs, accordion, or my new theme, which is one of just the other themes that I had kind of sitting in there. So I'm just going to choose to base this off of tabs. If I click OK here, just to add this theme, and this is now my theme is now Cool New Theme. If at a later date I wanted to create yet another new theme, I could add a new theme, and I could base it off of Cool New Theme. So one of the things that you can do is you can create your own branded output and call it, my branded theme, and keep that in your themes folder in DocHelp, in My Documents, My DocHelp projects. And then once you want to create, say your company adds another product, or they want to expand the things that they document, but they want to keep the same branding, all you have to do is just create a new theme for that target and base it off of my branded theme. So that's a really good way of not having to redo a lot of your work. Once I get, in this situation, once I get a Cool New Theme up to speed and I have it where I want it to be, then all I need to do in the future is just create a new theme if I need to create it for another product, or just if the company's heading in another direction, but they still want the same basic idea, then all I have to do is create a new theme based off of the thing that already worked for me. Okay, and then this is a really important question. Once a theme or once a NetHelp project is built, and I apologize, I was going to say this at the beginning, I didn't say this, but I think most people have been able to find it. If you do have any questions, you can post those in the questions box in GoToMeeting, and they keep popping up and I keep addressing them as they come in. So you can feel free to post any questions that you have in the questions box in GoToMeeting. And the theme that I have here is once a NetHelp project is built, our custom themes save with those files. We save our NetHelp files on a web server separate from where they're originally created. With the custom files need to be moved over to that server in order for everything to work. The answer is no, nothing would need to be moved over. Basically, DocHelp applies everything and creates everything, and NetHelp is all, as long as you deploy that NetHelp folder, the folder that gets created when you build NetHelp, as long as you deploy that to the web server, that has everything that it needs in it. That's like a self-contained unit, and you don't need to have anything else installed or moved or any other files deployed. And then I have a question of, can you upload a theme and skin to the theme's location? Created a theme via external method. I'm not sure. Can you upload a theme and skin to the theme's location? I'm not sure about that. I can actually just kind of contact you sort of offline and try and get you a better answer to that question. I think I'm just not understanding the way that the question is phrased. Okay. So once we have our cool new theme, our theme is created, and then the theme preview dialog box will open. An example of the current theme is displayed, complete with navigation buttons and other elements. Okay, so NetHelp has a WYSIWYG theme editor that allows you to click on specific interface elements, then edit those elements using the properties and settings on the right-hand side. Okay, so we've got a screenshot. The bottom of page 6, and this is one of my favorite screenshots ever, and I think I've probably copied it and moved it too many times. It looks like it might be a little degraded at this point because I've used it and reused it so many times. But this screenshot that's on the bottom of page 6 kind of outlines everything that you need to know and numbers everything, and there's a key that you can follow as far as where you need to go to change what. Oh, okay, and so I got clarification on the question, and basically asking if you can create a theme and skin using a different software, providing it's the same file format, but then upload that into DocHelp to use as the output. The answer to that question is basically yes. What you would need to do is there are additional theme customizations and additional things that you would probably need to do to the user.js, which is a JavaScript file, and the user.css, which is sort of the master cascading style sheet file. and you would probably be able to find most of the answers to your questions on how all that works if you look at the end of this, towards the end of this, the additional customizations, additional theme customizations. Okay, so we have our first exercise at the top of page 7. And what we're basically going to do is we're going to create a NetHelp theme based on the tab theme. And then in a little bit, we're going to make a few changes to it. Okay, so right now I have my theme open that I created. You don't need to call it Cool New Theme. You can call it whatever you like. And that's pretty straightforward. That's just a couple of steps. If everybody could just run through that real quick, just create their new theme. If you haven't created it already, I'll just give everybody a couple of minutes to do that. I'll give everybody until 2:36 my time. Should be pretty quick and painless. For the person that had that skinning question with the additional theme customizations, I just looked up that topic on the documentation and I copied that link into the chat window for you. And then I just posted something into the chat window. If during a break or when you finish up the session today, I don't want anybody trying to tweet anything while I'm talking, you know, because obviously I deserve your full attention. But if anybody wants to tweet with the hashtag D2H Summer School, anybody that uses the D2H Summer School hashtag, we'll give them I'll send them an electronic version of our comprehensive training manuals. So anybody that uses that hashtag, D2H Summer School, send them an electronic copy of the manuals, and then I'll pick a winner out of all of the people that use the hashtag. And then that person will get our comprehensive online instructor-led training. So that's 4 4-hour courses, and that's $900 value. So 4 4-hour online training sessions, and it covers this information as well as a whole bunch of other information, basically everything you ever wanted to know about DocHelp but were afraid to ask. So I'll be keeping track of those hashtags, and I'll be passing out the prizes to the winners. Okay, and then the next section is actually really heavy on exercises. This is all about customizing a theme with the visual theme editor. And as I'd mentioned before, this is basically just a what you see is what you get editor. You can change and customize virtually any element of the theme's interface by clicking on that element and modifying the properties and settings for that element. To customize the toolbar buttons, select the toolbar itself in the theme editor, click the wrench on the right pane of the theme editor. Dialog will open that will allow you to edit the toolbar buttons. Okay, and then you would use the move up, move down buttons to rearrange them. Click the plus sign to add a new button. And click the minus sign to remove a button. So again, this is just a visual interface. So it's what you see is what you get. So whatever you want to change in whatever element that you want to change, just click in that area. You want to change the search tab, you would just click on the search tab. If you want to change the index tab, click on the index tab. So if we want to change the buttons on the toolbar, if I just click on the toolbar itself, I click on this little wrench here. The exercise would just have you switch around the previous and next button. So if I click on the next button, click on the button to move it up, then that's going to reverse the previous and next buttons. So it's going to go next and previous, which is kind of weird. One of the reasons I chose that is because it stands out. And then if I select this Created with NetHelp button, that's sort of just like a free advertisement for us because it's a button with our logo on it that has a link to our website if somebody clicks on it. We do allow you to take that out. So if you just click on this remove, that removes that element from the interface. Okay, so if I click OK, everything refreshes in design mode, and the previous and next buttons are switched. And the Created with NetHelp button isn't there anymore. So if I want to add a PDF button, if I wanted to add, I could always put the Created with NetHelp button back in there if I wanted to. Or I could create a new button and call it PDF button. And then I can click on any individual button. Change the icon, change the label too. So if I click on Show Label, the next button has text in it. I click on Show Label on Previous. Previous button has text on it. Click on my new PDF button. Of course, that would help if I had a label in there. You could create that as well. Okay, and then I have a couple of folks that have talked about the fact that they have a preview button, but they don't have a design button here in the theme. It might just be that we're working with different versions, because I know that I'm working with, I'm working with 2013 V1. Okay, so if I just click on preview, then all of this stuff is grayed out, but if I go back into design mode, then everything becomes available again. And actually there's a question of, is there a size limit for the logos? And is it possible to add more than one logo to a skin? Like, can you have a company logo in the banner and then have a link to the company website in here as well? And that's actually something that we're going to be learning is how to actually we call this the header, the page header. There's a way to add a logo to that, and there's a way to change the height of it as well. To show or hide text, you could put the company name in there, or you could not put the company name in there. So actually, we're going to be covering that in a future exercise. Okay, so for right now, we've got the exercise towards the top of page 8. Rearrange and remove buttons. So that's going to ask you to rearrange the previous and next buttons, and then remove the Powered by NetHelp button. And then we're going to be tweaking the header. So that's to answer the next question that we have in the queue. But for right now, I'll just leave everybody on the call here. Don't hang up, but just take 5 minutes. And then at 2:50, I'll kick everything back off, and we'll go to tweaking the header. Okay, I didn't see any questions pouring in during that 5-minute break to do the exercise. So I'm going to assume that that everybody was able to successfully complete that. We'll just move on to tweaking the header, the exercise on tweaking the header. So we're going to add a logo to our header. We'll use the sydneytheowl.png file that was included in the DocHelp course pack. So you would click in the header area to display the header settings. And then click in the logo image checkbox, navigate to the sydneytheowl.png file. DocHelp will note that you need to add a copy of this file to your theme, but that's okay, so click Save. And the image is now added to the theme. Okay, so if you click Open, you'll see the logo in the theme designer, but only the tops of the owl's ears will be showing. So we need to make small adjustments to fix this. If you click in the height field and enter 100, the logo fits properly. So if I click in this little checkbox to try and select the Sydney the Owl logo image, I go to my desktop. That's where I have my DocHelp course pack. Here's my Sydney the Owl. And again, you only see the top of the owl's ears. So I change the height to 100. See the entire owl. So if I wanted to see the owl's feet too, maybe I could change that to maybe like 120. There we go. Now we at least see the owl's legs. Okay, so then that kind of talks about the height restrictions and the file size restrictions. There aren't any real file size or dimension restrictions. If you upload or if you add a file into the theme designer that's way too big, basically DocHelp just resizes it for you to a certain level, and then you would just need to change the size for the header. Then I had a question of, is there a way to create sort of content links for video content and then content links for help content? Is there a way to establish those or to sort of set those up in the theme designer? There's no real way to set that up in the theme designer. If you look at DocHelp's documentation, there are different sort of little quick tips like this that say watch the video. DocHelp all about the DocHelp outputs. So you could put that in the body of your you can put that in the body of your documentation with links to different videos and have a little video icon there to flag it. But there's no real way to do that, to set it up. Maybe even like a video camera or some other kind of icon. There's no real way to set that up in the theme designer. That would be something that you would need to do more in the content itself. And there was also a question of, since we don't have the 2013 version, is there a step-by-step tutorial for the 2012 version? As long as you have DocHelp 2012 V2 or later, As long as you don't have, basically, as long as you don't have NetHelp 2012 V1, this tutorial is going to be accurate for you. Basically, we introduced this theme designer, this WYSIWYG theme designer, where you click on different elements and just change those elements on this right-hand side. We introduced that in 2012 V2. So if you have 2012 V1, then the theme designer is actually, it's going to be a lot different than this, but you will be able to use the, there's actually just like a list of properties and other items, basically just like a reference list at the end of this, the PDF that's in the course pack. So if you go to after additional theme customization, so person had that question previously, and then I gave you the link to that topic. That's at the bottom of page 16. There's also the link to that help topic. Okay, and then there's a whole list, basically pages, at the top of page 17 all the way to the end. This is all just for reference, these theme options, because these are all of the different properties and things that you would need to either set to true or false before we redesigned the theme designer. And so this would be probably what you would want to take a look at and sort of poke around in there. Basically, I hadn't intended to read any of this. I just wanted to make sure that everybody had it for reference, because I figured that everybody, is able to read it themselves, and they probably get bored just listening to me read, page after page of it. Okay, so yeah, check on those on page 17 and further. And then if everybody could, I'll just give everybody maybe 4 minutes until 3:01 to do this tweaking the header exercise. And I'm still in the room. I just have the phone muted. So if anybody does have any questions while they're going through this exercise, again, this is another pretty quick, straightforward one. If you have any questions while you're going through this exercise, you can feel free to chat those into the questions box and GoToMeeting. Okay, everyone. Actually, I had a few questions that started to come in as the call was on hold. One of them was asking a question about changing the header So this is the best way to change the fonts. If you go to if you go to the additional theme customizations topic and you go to changing the style sheet, so you can make this change in user.css. Should be the way to change the font family, and you can also change the font size. And then actually changing the font color. If you change the color of the header, like if you have black text and you change the color of the header to black, then your text is going to disappear. So there's actually in the theme ruler that's also the way that you change your text so that your text doesn't disappear. So that your text you can change your text to white. And then somebody was asking where the Edit Theme button is. That's mentioned on page 17 of the student guide. So the student guide is actually, that's the additional properties. That's going to be more helpful for you. The properties, all of the properties that are listed there are really more, again, for reference. The Edit Theme button is a callback to the old theme designer. I should have taken that out of there, and I guess I just missed it. But it's a callback to the old theme designer where you actually did need to click on a button to edit the theme versus just clicking on any element of the interface and starting to edit it from there. So there's no Edit Theme button in the way that the interface is now, because you can just click anywhere on it and start editing it. And just looking at that next exercise on page 10, talking about changing icons and interface elements. A list of icon names and images can be found when you click on either of the content windows in the theme editor, the one on the left that displays the contents, index, and search, and the one in the middle which displays topic text. To change any icon, you would just click on that icon preview that is displayed in the right pane in the theme editor. Okay, so all those different buttons are called out in that screenshot. So if I click here, see that all my expand all and collapse all buttons are displayed here. Okay, so let's change the expand all and collapse all icons. You can click each expand all icon image, the right pane of the theme editor, and change it to the curved arrow icon, similar to the arrow icon for related topic links. And then click on each collapse all icon and change the image in the right pane in the theme editor. Change it to the reverse curved arrow icon. This isn't a stylistic change. This isn't something that I've seen a lot of people do. This is just kind of something that we can do, something that I thought of just to show how to make changes, and basically to see those changes reflected as soon as you make them. If I use that sort of arrow return thick, and if I click on this, I also have, so all of my options are now changed. So if I had expanding and collapsing text, then I could expand it and collapse it with that arrow. And so I might want to change these arrows and the related topic links just so that I could cut down on confusion, so people didn't try and click this in order to expand the text. So all those interface elements are now changed. When I click on here, I can also upload my own standalone icons. So right now the only standalone icons that I have in there are the doc to help buttons, but if I had other icons that somebody made for me, I could just upload those, or I could just have no icon for expanding and collapsing text, and it could just be links. Okay. And then the exercise for setting the display to right to left is the next exercise. So if everybody could just walk through the changing the other elements in the interface. Everybody could just walk through that exercise real quick. I'll just give everybody maybe another 3 minutes until 3:10 to do that. Okay, again, I didn't hear any screams of panic or anybody posting frantic questions in the questions box. So I figure everybody was able to navigate their way through that quick exercise. And then just for setting up the theme for right to left, that's actually a really quick change that you can do. There's only one checkbox that you need to check. I like to put that into any exercise just because it's something quick and easy to show, but it's something that displays pretty powerful once it displays. So if I just select General from this list of settings, one of the checkboxes that I can check is just this right to left checkbox. So if I check that, all the elements in the interface go to right to left. And we actually, you can see here, this is, you see the settings.en.us.xml. So these are all of the preloaded settings for English. But you can actually choose, there's a Hebrew one, I believe there's an Arabic one, so that you can choose from a list here. a Hebrew one and there's a Japanese one, and I believe those are both set to right to left automatically. So that's automatically right to left, and that's automatically localized for Hebrew. I guess I'll just uncheck that right to left just so we can see how everything moves back nice and quick. And we have changing the color scheme with the jQuery theme roller. It's really sort of the last lesson in today's workbook, the last lesson and the last exercise, and then we have the information about the additional theme customizations, and then basically that list of properties. And actually, we have a question of if I change the settings from English to Hebrew, does that change the language of the content? And that actually doesn't change the language of the content that's in there, but there is a way to integrate, and that's actually how to customize NetHelp resources. There's a way to add Google Translate toolbar option onto NetHelp so that people can choose whatever language they want to translate the content into. And this is to the information on integrating Google Translate into NetHelp. So you can integrate Google Translate into NetHelp so that you can just choose whatever language you want and automatically translate it into that. But choosing just those different language settings in NetHelp doesn't change the actual language of the content that's in there. But if you go to this select language toolbar, then that could automatically change that for you. So you can just take a look at how to work with that Google Translate functionality. Okay, and then actually the information on page 12 probably has a better definition of style sheet than I gave everybody earlier. Style sheet is a jQuery or Widmo theme that controls the appearance, colors, font, etc. of your NetHelp 2.0 theme. NetHelp includes 16 predefined style sheets that you can choose from using the style sheet dropdown in the theme editor, but you can also download additional themes or create your own with the jQuery theme roller. Okay, so in order to add your new jQuery theme in the theme designer, click the Add New Style Sheet button to add a new style sheet. If you already have a theme you'd like to add, you can click the Browse button and navigate to your file. If you want to create or download a theme, open the jQuery UI Theme Roller website, jQuery UI/theme roller. And basically the option that we're going to go with is to roll our own and then download that theme from the jQuery website. Okay, so that's got the steps in the exercise, basic steps on it on page 13. Click the link basically, after you click your Add Style Sheet button, so click and Add New Style Sheet from the theme roller. Click the link to launch the theme roller. And then basically there's some how-to tips, and this is probably better even probably to try and reference it. There's some guidelines for creating jQuery themes in the theme roller, because each of the elements and panes of the NetHelp theme is associated with a specific element in the jQuery theme roller. Okay, so all of these different elements in the theme roller, this header toolbar, content, clickable default state, clickable hover state, clickable active state. All of these elements correspond with a certain element in your NetHelp themes. Okay, so you would click on any of these arrows, use the color wheel to define the colors for your backgrounds, your fonts, and then this is a sample style sheet that I made with the theme roller to try and make all the different elements stand out. Okay, so the header toolbar, I made it black. So that changed this topic toolbar and then the background for behind the tabs. I just changed background colors here. I didn't change any font colors. I think by default all the font colors were black actually. Okay, so I made the content red. So that changed the backgrounds, the area where the index, contents, and search are, and in the topic text area. For clickable default, I changed to green. Clickable hover, I changed to purple. That changed the background color for the header and the background color for the third level topic once I moused over it. And the clickable active is white, so that created the white box for any of my pop-up links. It also created a white background for any tab that I'm currently on, because contents is the current tab in this example, because I'm clicked on it and the table of contents is displayed. So since contents is the active window, it's got a white background. So if you have specific RGB, RGB colors that you want to set up for color schemes that are specific to your brand, you can set them up in the theme roller. And then you can also set the color by specifying an HTML color in the appropriate field for the border, text, icon, or background. So again, the header toolbar, all these elements here, if I click on here, I can change the HTML color. Just have that be white. Change the text maybe so that it's blue. Change the background for the content. Again, so that it's more of a red. Now once I have all of these set up the way that I want them to be set up, again, you can just input the colors in directly here, or you can use the color wheel to change whatever you need to change. Then this is where you can change your font settings as well. Size and weight. Then once you download the theme to your machine, use DocDoc to select it. And all the test elements are applied. Okay, there was a question of you could be, or is there support for a corporate color palette? And it doesn't appear as though there is any option for that. There's actually a link in the course book. I'm actually not as familiar with all the different color options for the jQuery theme roller. So one of the things you could do is you could learn more about it as far as the help and documentation for jQuery. And there's a help option in here somewhere. And then actually, I mean, that's the basics for the jQuery theme roller. Sorry, I wasn't able to answer more of those specific questions. I'm just not sure specifically. Basically, I mean, I think that what I had said at the what's at the end of this guidelines for creating themes is that the best way to truly get the result that you're looking for is to play around with the theme roller for a little while, roll a few different themes, and pick the one that most closely matches the desired color scheme. to kind of need to go back and forth and work with a few different things, maybe download a few different types of themes. I know a lot of the different ways that our customers have done that and the ways that I've created style sheets and themes, rolled themes for customers have been through trial and error. So I know that's not the most scientific way to do it, and there's certainly, you could probably test it out a little bit better in advance to improve your results without having to go through as many iterations. But I think it's one of those things where you might just want to try and fine-tune it and try a few different ways until you get it just the way that you want it. And we do have a question. Have I read somewhere that Doc2Help can create videos? And is that the third webinar? Actually, creating graphics and videos and working with graphics and videos is the last lesson in our intermediate training. So that's our instructor-led training and our comprehensive training manuals. So if you use the hashtag D2H Summer School, I can send you the zip file that has all of the PDF versions of the intermediate, introductory, and advanced training manuals, and then the graphics and video is the last lesson there with an exercise. That is actually not covered in the third summer school session, so you probably need to use the hashtag or go out and get the manuals. But just as sort of a quick preview, Doc2Help is not what you use to make videos. There's actually a program called DemoWorks that Component One makes. And in DemoWorks, what this is, it's the screen recording software, so you could record a screen, window, or a region. So if I record a region, if I record this screen theme designer box, and I could click through here, show somebody how to change an icon. And I could remove frames or comment on frames, just sort of break this down frame by frame. It actually does a really good job of separating everything out into frames and creating a lot of frames for you. You can add in your own audio track, or you can record audio on over this, and then you can create an animated GIF, AVI, SWF, EXE, JAR, or WMV file. Okay, and then so DemoWorks, if you create a SWF file, you can use the Doc2Help button on the Doc2Help toolbar in Word or in Doc2Help's content editor. If you're working in the HTML5 editor, you can do this just as easy because there's a Flash Movie button in there. So if you click on the Flash Movie button, there's my demo. It gets added in here automatically, so it'll play in any HTML-based output, and it's also tagged and commented so that it'll only show up in HTML outputs. It won't show up if I build a manual, but it will show up if I build HTML help or a CHM file. And you can actually buy, there's a DocHelp and DemoWorks bundle. They're bundled together in a bundle creatively called the DocHelp and DemoWorks bundle. And so basically, when you buy that, you get DemoWorks for an extra $100. So DocHelp is $1,095, and the DocHelp and DemoWorks bundle is $1,195. Okay, so then this is actually just a really small Flash movie, and I probably should have played around with the settings to make it a little bit bigger and make it a little bit more user-friendly, but that's the way it displays as current, and a question of how big that file is. Should be pretty easy to check that out. Yeah, the Swift file for my demo is 812 kilobytes. Okay, and that is our hour and a half for the overview of how to brand your web-based outputs. If anybody does have any questions on any of the topics that we covered today, anything that they would like to find out a little bit more about in depth, just put my phone number, my email address here in the chat window. I'm certainly here to help. I'm certainly here to field any questions that you might have. And if you start to dive a little bit deeper into the software, again, this is basically just kind of like a high-level overview of the different things that you can do with the theme designer and the different ways that you can brand your outputs. But certainly, if you do have any questions, certainly can feel free to let me know. It looks like kind of a question of can I email the details without doing the Twitter thing? Yeah, you don't have to do the Twitter thing, but it's certainly it's a good way to get the free training manuals if you use the D2H Summer School hashtag. So you can certainly feel free to send me an email or give me a call outside of the Twitterverse, or you can look us up at @DocToHelp. And then I have a question of, do you save your logo pic to the header somewhere? What we recommend is that you save all graphics and all screenshots, all logos that you need for your project, that you save them all. And actually, let me just, I was working in the Pittsburgh project earlier. So it's in my DocHelp project. Whenever your project gets created, DocHelp creates a CSS files for you, a folder for you, a documents folder for you, a media folder for you, and the .d2h file. And then anytime you start building outputs, then the NetHelp, the temp folders, manual folders, HTML help folders, a whole bunch of other folders start to get built. But those are the folders that you start with. We recommend that you put any and all media that you're going to need in the media folder for your project. And DocToHelp, when you add that logo, this is where you should look for your logo. When you add that logo in the theme designer, that's where you should look for it. But DocToHelp might also save it somewhere else, just so it has a copy that it can reference for any kind of themes or anything. There's no specific place that needs to be, but we recommend, like, there's no specific place that it's required to be, but we recommend that everybody put all of their screenshots, images, anything like that in the media folder. Okay, and then I guess, it's well past happy hour time in many parts of the world. It looks like we have a couple of people from Europe and the UK that are heading off in that direction. So I appreciate everybody's time and attention today. Like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call, and certainly give us a follow at NetHelp. And if you're interested in winning the comprehensive online training or getting the free comprehensive training manuals, certainly feel free to tag us at that hashtag D2H Summer School. Thanks, and I appreciate everybody's time.